Sonichu didn't start out as a comic book, and if you're a longtime fan of the series, you know he wasn't Chris Chan's first Hedgehog OC. Chris wrote 4 short stories of questionable canonicity that take place in C-197, the fictional dimension in which Sonichu lives. This short series will cover them individually, and today we're continuing on with the first Sonichu story, Genesis of the Lovehogs. This short story shares a title and many story beats with the comic of the same name. Let's begin. April 10th, 2003. Sonichu and Rosechu, The Genesis of the Lovehogs, by Christian Weston Chandler. The city of Station Square, a big city filled with everyday business and excitement. But on this fateful day in 2000, a monster rose from within the confines of the Master Emerald, combined with the negative power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds to destroy the city. Floods spewed from the sewers, water raged from the buildings, and everything was being ripped apart. And when the eye of the monster's storm was upon the city, it formed from the waters its perfect form. The monster came to be perfect chaos. At this time, only one hope was available to help, and his name was Sonic the Hedgehog. After his friends, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, collected the de-energized emeralds, they brought them to Sonic. Chaos only used the negative power of the emeralds, so Sonic should have been able to use the positive energy to stop the monster. So with the emeralds, and the positive cheers from the survivors of the disaster, Sonic transformed into Super Sonic. With the power of the emeralds flowing through his body, he set out to destroy perfect chaos. Not far from the city, in a field of flowers, a boy Pikachu was playing around. When it heard the chaos going on in the city, it got curious. So it ran as fast as it could to see what was going on. When it got there, it ran onto the edge of a broken freeway ramp. There, it watched as Super Sonic ran into the monster's torso and spiraled up and out its mouth. Needing to hit the monster in the same manner, Super Sonic rushed again at such a speed. And once again, he ran in and came out the mouth, but this time, he collided with the bystanding Pikachu, and the powers from the emeralds were being copied into the Pikachu, and they emitted a bright light that caused a large, long rainbow. Meanwhile, about a few miles from the city, at a shore side of a lake, there was a wooden cottage occupied with a lovely Pokemon trainer. Her name was Kel, short for Kelly, with brown hair, average figure, 16 years of age, and a very cheerful personality. At this time, she was studying up on what the qualifications were for participating in the Johto League, and which strategies she and her Pokemon would use. Just outside the cottage, her girl Raichu was playing freely in the grass. When it heard a loud explosion from the collision of Super Sonic and Pikachu, then it glanced up into the direction of Station Square, standing still. The emitted rainbow flew through the sky, the end of it landing on Raichu. Raichu and Pikachu both were shining brightly, as if they were going to evolve. Just then, Kel noticed Rosechu's shining light through her window, so she put her book down and rushed outside with shock as she was wondering what was going on. Was Raichu evolving? Did it learn a new attack or what? It was all so strange to her. Then, Raichu and Pikachu started to grow and transform. Raichu transformed into a lovely pink hedgehog with a magenta dress, tank tops, and boots, all with a blue stripe on each item. She also had a white accessory on her head, and her tail was as long as before, but it was white, and the bolt on the end was yellow. Kel was frightened when she said, "Raichu, is that you? What happened?" Then, surprisingly, the Pokemon spoke. I don't know, Kel." Kel let out a gasp. The Pokemon then said, "I seem to have transformed into a new kind of Pokemon, and I'm not sure what to make of it." Then it turned around and gazed at Kel. Kel was further shocked, but then she calmed down and said, Raichu? You are as beautiful as a rose." Then she had an idea. "That's it! Since you are now a new type of Pokemon, how about we call you Rosechu?" Rosechu replied, "Wow, that's very nice of you to give me such a nice name. Thank you. So from now on, I will be known as Rosechu." Meanwhile, back at Station Square, the What Was Pikachu came too, hearing the crowds cheer, "Sonic, Sonic, Sonic." Then he examined himself, finding that he was still yellow, had new spikes on its head and back, still had its Pika tail, and was wearing blue shoes with 2 brown stripes on each one. He then stood up and glanced at the situation. Supersonic was starting to get tired from zooming so fast into the monster. Then he spoke. "Wow, what a mess!" He then gasped. "I'm no longer the Pikachu I used to be." The crowd was still cheering Sonichu on. The Pokemon assessed the situation and realized that the monster had to be destroyed. So, with all his courage, he ran alongside the buildings towards the monster. When he got close enough, he waited for Supersonic to attack and escape. After Supersonic escaped from the monster, the Pokemon let out a mighty thunderbolt attack, thus shocking the monster into extinction and evaporation. The crowd believed that Sonic was the one who saved the day, but at the time, no one knew that a Pokemon helped. Later on, in a distance, the Pokemon was running for a while, and then stopped at a cliffside. Then he pondered. "I am a new Pokemon. I am no longer a Pikachu, but I have decided on a new name." Then he proudly stood and shouted to the world, "Do not fear, world, for I am a new Pokemon, and my name is Sonichu." Yes, Sonichu, a proud Pokemon, free to help when needed, and a real hero. After a few weeks had passed, Kel got used to having a Rosechu instead of a Raichu. One day, Sonichu came upon the lakeside with hunger. He spotted a lit-up cottage. He thought, maybe if he asked nicely, he might get something for his stomach. So he knocked on the door and heard a girl say, "I'll get it." The door opened and a pink hedgehog Pokemon greeted Sonichu with surprise that she was not the only hedgehog Pokemon after all. She said to Sonichu, "Hi, my name is Rosechu, and you are?" Sonichu then introduced himself and explained his hunger. Rosechu replied, "Sure, my master, Kel, is a friendly trainer. I'm sure she will share her wonderful cooking with such a handsome Pokemon as yourself. Come in." Sonichu then entered the cottage. Kel was cooking in the kitchen when Rosechu came in and said, "Kel, we have a guest tonight, a wild Pokemon. His name is Sonichu." Kel turned around and gasped as she was looking at 2 hedgehog Pokemon of the same variety. Kel replied, "Wow, another hedgehog? It's very nice to meet you, Sonichu." Sonichu then said, "Thank you. I was feeling a bit hungry, and I was wondering if I may join you all for dinner." Kel happily replied, "Sure thing. Just seat yourself at the table. Dinner will be ready shortly. Rosie, please sit with Sonichu until when dinner is ready." So, Rosechu and Sonichu sat at the table and shared stories about their adventures in the wild, and with Kel. After dinner, Sonichu became full and said, "Ah, that was a good meal. Thank you." Rosechu replied, "We're just happy to oblige, Sonichu. Would you like to walk around the lake with me?" Sonichu replied, "Sure, sounds like fun." Then, Sonichu and Rosechu walked out together. Kel looked out at them with a smile on her face, because she had hoped that Rosechu and Sonichu would be happy together. Outside, Sonichu and Rosechu were sitting on a big rock, gazing at the moon and its reflection in the lake, and they looked into each other's eyes lovingly. Then, their lips puckered, and they kissed each other. It was then that started the pair of loving hedgehogs. The end. That was the third of Chris's 4 short stories. The next is, much like Chris's comics themselves, unfinished. It tells the story of Sonichu's Christmas, which would later be finished in Sonichu issue number 11. Thank you for watching. Be sure to be nice to each other in the comments, consider supporting creators you admire, and never lose sight of the things that are important to you. Thank you to my patrons, A Humble Narcissist, Abigail, Angel, Ash Perler, Blue Coon, Elijah, Hunter, Jess, Jose, Joseph, Joshua, Caitlin, Poe, Randy, Shadow Nexa, Snotling, Steve, Torchka, twitch.tv/SumaBreakup, and Benjamins. You can follow me on Twitter at GiBi_Devin and join my Discord, which is linked in the description.